Objection? There seems to be no objection. We come now to question number 12 in the name of Clare Curran.
To the Minister of Communications and Information Technology, what is the government's target date for the commencement of its $1.5 billion broadband plan, given reported anxiety in the industry?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
At the time the policy was originally announced, we advised the new government would spend the first year consulting with the public and industry and getting the investment structure right. By year 6, we will have rolled out ultra-fast broadband to businesses, schools, health facilities and the first tranche of homes. By year 10, we expect that 75% of the population will have access to ultra-fast broadband.
Supplementary.
Clare Curran.
Is the Minister planning to use electricity lines companies as a vehicle to roll out its broadband plan, as suggested in today's New Zealand Herald?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, the government is working through a range of options and will have more to say on that very shortly.
Melissa Lee.
Mr. Speaker, the question is to Minister for Communications and Information Technology, who has expressed the most anxiety over the government's ambitious plans to invest $1.5 billion in ultra-fast broadband for New Zealand.
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, it would appear that the person who is most anxious, according to the New Zealand Herald this morning, was the former Minister for Communications and Information Technology, the Honourable David Cunliffe. I'm just trying to divine whether he's a genuinely anxious for party political reasons, a natural anxious person, or going through a personally anxious period as he tries to work out when to make his bid for the leadership of the Labour Party.
Order. Order. Clare Curran. Clare Curran.
Why is the Minister...
Order. The Labor members might show their own members some courtesy as she seeks to ask a supplementary question. Clare Curran.
Why is the Minister, in the current economic climate, seeking to reinvent the wheel on the rollout of broadband, creating anxiety and loss of confidence in the telecommunications sector, when he would be better to use the existing industry-supported mechanisms developed by the previous Labor government?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, the previous plan by the previous Labor government was for a $325 million grant scheme. Our plan is for a $1.5 billion investment in ultra-fast broadband. I note that the BIF was so urgent for the previous government that it took them 8 years of their 9 years in government to get around to announcing it.
Clare Curran.
Point of order.
Point of order, Clare
Point
Curran.
of order. Mr. Speaker, I seek leave to table an article in the Sunday Star Times which claims the National Party doesn't have a clue how they're going to implement their broadband plan, titled "Nervous Telcos Play Second-Guess Game."
Order. The member has described the document perfectly adequately, and here we go again seeking to table something in the newspaper which the Standing Orders Committee made very clear is something we do not wish to see happen. I'm obliged to seek leave, but I think already members will reject it. Leave is sought. Is there objection? There is. The Honourable Dr Michael Cullen. Point of order.
Mr. Speaker, that was a point of order being raised by my colleague, and there was a barrage of interjections while that point was being raised, and you validated those interjections by indicating what had already been indicated by the members opposite. I suggested that that was not appropriate.
I accept that there were... I'm on my feet. I accept that there were faults all round there. The member, in seeking leave, went on far too long, and it was my fault that I let the member go on too long in describing the press statement. That led to disorderly behaviour here. I accept it was actually my fault that happened, and I'll now put leave again just to make sure there is no misunderstanding. Leave has been sought to table that press statement. Is there any objection? There is objection. And that... Point of order, Clare Curran.
I seek leave to table an article in today's New Zealand Herald which speculates that the Minister is planning to use electricity lines companies, but also that he may become known...
Order. We now have clear understanding what that press statement is. Is there any objection to that being tabled? There is objection. Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Speaker, during that seeking of leave, Nick Smith interjected. You did not call him on that. I think all of us over here could hear him, and we just want to know if rules are going to apply both ways.
Speaking the point of order, the Honourable Nick Smith.
The issue that concerned me was you had just given a ruling and a guidance to members that they should not table newspaper articles. And it was somewhat a deriding of you as Speaker for the member to immediately get to her feet and seek to table another newspaper article. It was almost like she was snubbing the Speaker, and that caused me concern.
Order, members. Order. Order. When the Speaker is on his feet, the Honourable Darren Hughes. When the Speaker is on his feet, the member will be silent. I think in this issue, members, we had a new member, and I don't blame her because plenty of members have done this, seeking to table press statements. The Standing Orders Committee reviewed this issue and has given a very clear advice to the House that that should not become our practice. I am not able to, as I tried to decline the leave sought by the Minister, the Honourable Phil Heatley, I was wrong, and I should have sought to let him seek leave for that, as I was obliged to seek leave for the member seeking to table a press statement. I'd simply urge all members. The Standing Orders Committee has made it very clear that this is not good practice for this House, and I would urge all members to refrain from seeking to table a press statement unless it is some exceptional circumstance. Now, I think we should let the matter rest there, and that brings to a conclusion question time for today. I call the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Speaker, are you going to rule on the original point of order that I made, and that was that Nick Smith interjected during a point of order?
Order.
You haven't yet.
Order. The member will sit down. I'm ruling on it. As I heard Nick Smith, he just gasped at what was going on. And that is the end of the matter.